So when you're a teenager, typically you don't have respect for anybody's shit. And we were no different because when our friend Nate moved into the basement of my grandma's house, which was basically just like a refugee camp for all the troubled youth in Flint, he brought a 1994 like Cutlass Supreme with him. So one night while he was fast asleep, me and the boys are skulking around town and we stumble into this construction site where we find some like highlighter orange spray paint. So when Nate gets up to go to work, he finds out that he's now sponsored by Walmart.com. He has racing numbers and graffiti all over, like he's about to be in a fucking demolition derby. So at first he's pissed, but then he decides that we probably should just spray paint the whole thing orange so it doesn't look as bad. So next thing you know, we're in the front yard doing work on the car. My grandma's leaning out the front door yelling at us because we essentially turned her front yard into a junkyard with a bunch of scrapped cars laying everywhere. But the way this car looked was very appropriate for what we did with it because we used to drive around our neighborhood and just sling open our doors into mailboxes and trash cans. And even one time our buddy tried to open the door into a stop sign which didn't budge and the door came back and smashed his arm.
Oh, take my hand! Ah!
But the best thing we ever did with this car was do Evel Knievel style jumps at Zimmerman Alternative High School. See, they needed to have a big parking lot because they had a bunch of 26-year-old 8th graders that needed to be able to park their mom's van. For whatever reason, the ramp into the parking lot was like 160 degrees and it was perfect for being the good old Dukes boys. Wham. So eventually word got out around our high school that we're basically Tokyo Drift now. And on the next jump, we had people lined up just like a Fast and Furious scene and they're waiting to see this momentous moment. We're about to jump this Cutlass Supreme. We start piling some girls in the car because we think we're about to get that Ja Rule. We thought the girls were gonna love this shit. So we gun it. We're doing like 45 miles an hour. Nate hits this jump and we are airborne. We are on cloud 9. We're about to get so much puss. We can't say that.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on it.
And we fucking hit the ground. Pop all 4 tires. And that was the end of Nate's car.
You remember when Adam got hit with the car?
Oh, dude, so even like, so we had the scheme that we were gonna hit Sweeney with the car outside of Walmart and then throw him in the trunk. And we thought this shit was going to be hilarious. But as professionals, we wanted to practice this a couple times. So right outside my grandma's house, we hit Swinney doing like 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, all the way up to like 25 miles an hour, left him stoved up in the basement for like 3 days. But on that 4th day, he was ready to go. But we didn't do it at Walmart. We did it at Lowe's. So he walks out of Lowe's and he starts running through the parking lot screaming, "Help me, help me." And here we come and we hit this motherfucker. Boom. And he goes flying over the car. We jump out. We throw him in the trunk. And before the car even gets shut off when we pull back at my grandma's house, there's a police officer right behind us. And he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then Swinney comes out and he's hurt and he's limping. He's like battered and beaten. And he's like, "Hey, it was just a joke. It was just a joke. Well, we're just doing jackass stuff with our friends." And the police officer looks at him. He's like, "Hey, you need to get new friends." And that's the story of Nate's car.